Welcome to the Sonia Dungy Podcast, episode 114th. For the entire month, we are celebrating Black History all month long. Tonight, I want to thank you for joining as always, and it is still an honor and a deep-seated privilege for me to be able to be a part of this celebration of African American history and culture, recognizing the struggles and the resilience while highlighting innovations and achievements made. So tonight, I bring you two parts. The first, the Tuskegee Airmen, and then part two, which we will be bringing and talking about it together, will be honoring the Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart Jr. So just to give you a brief explanation of why I do what I'm doing for this month is that there has been many struggles, just as I speak about in the Sonia Dungy podcast and part of being a transformation coach, that the struggles that we overcame to become resilient is the parallel and what I will be speaking about tonight in the double presentation. So first part is the Tuskegee Airmen. And for those of you who don't know, before the Tuskegee Airmen, there was no African American that had ever been a U.S. military pilot. It wasn't until the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt's persistence that brought the first African American fighter squadron into formation, and that was in 1941. The 99th Fighter Squadron and the 332nd Fighter Group came to symbolize African American participation in World War II. In all, the 992 Tuskegee trained pilots logged over 15,000 sorties. Well, sorties means attacks that were made by troops coming from a position of attack, and nearly 1,600 fighter missions over Nazi-occupied Europe, protecting B-24 bombers from an aircraft fire and destroying enemy targets. So that is the explanation of what the Tuskegee Airmen were. And I'm proud to say that one of my family members was a Tuskegee Airman as well. So tonight we honor Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart Jr. Stewart was born in Newport News, Virginia, growing up in Queens, New York. From a young age, he was fascinated with flying, building model planes, and becoming a member of the Junior Birdmen of America, which was a national organization for young people who were interested in aviation and model plane building. In 1942, Stewart dropped out of high school and volunteered for aviation cadet training in the U.S. Army Air Forces. He scored highly on his entrance and aptitude exams and won admission into the program. Sent to Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama in April of 1943 for flight training, Stewart was commissioned as a second lieutenant in July of 1944 at the tender age of 19. After a brief leave, he was then transferred to Walterboro Air Force Field for several weeks of intense flying tactics and training before being shipped off to Italy. There, he was assigned to the 302nd Fighter Squad on 332 Fighter Group, 15th Air Force in Italy, flying 43 combat missions. During one mission on April 1st of 1945, Stewart was one of 8 Red Tail 51s assigned to escort B-24 bombers en route to St. Polten, Austria. Stewart credited within drowning 4 enemy planes and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for his actions. After returning to the United States in October of 1945, he remained on active duty. In early 1949, Stewart was one of 4 Tuskegee Airmen who scored highest in the U.S. Force's inaugural Top Gun aerial gunnery competition. Among the military's best pilots, although his accomplishments, listen to this, y'all. Although his accomplishments were not recognized until decades later, official results were recorded as unknown for nearly 46 years. 46 years, it was unrecorded as to who really won. In 2022, which was only 2 years ago, a plaque was commissioned and prominently displayed at the Air Force's Weapons School to reaffirm 332nd win. Wow. Colonel James Harry III, which was Stewart's fellow Tuskegean airman, he was quoted as saying, "We weren't supposed to," listen to this closely, "we weren't supposed to be able to fly aircrafts. We weren't supposed to be able to win this competition, but we did, and we were the best." Stewart left active duty in January of 1950, taking advantage of the GI Bill to earn a degree in mechanical engineering at NYU. For those of you who don't know, NYU is New York University. He remained in the Air Force Reserve, where he served as an instructor and test pilot, and was recalled for duty during the Korean War. He retired in the 1960s as Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart Jr. Stewart became an advocate for the legacy of Tuskegee Airmen. He played a vital role in their recognition, and the group received the Congressional Gold Medal in 2007. In 2024, the National World War II Museum was proud to recognize the trailblazing Tuskegee Airmen with the American Spirit Award, the institution's highest honor for their accomplishments and patriotism in the face of discrimination. Imagine that. Remembering an American hero and trailblazer, Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart Jr., a fighter pilot in World War II, part of the Tuskegee Airmen, America's first ever Black combat pilots. He flew 43 combat missions, one of 4 Tuskegee Airmen with 3 air-to-air victories in a single day. One of the last Tuskegee surviving airmen died at 100 years of age on February 4th, 2025, just recently. I'm just happy that I did my part, and that if any of the benefits that are raised derive from it, I am very, very proud. So that concludes this segment of celebrating Black History all month long. I want to thank you all for joining. And remember, as always, be safe, stay well. God bless you all. And remember, always be destined for greatness. Your very best, not to be compared to anyone else. And I want to thank everybody else who took the time to comment. We are the best. I know that's right. Valuable. Yes, indeed. So, if nothing else, I hope you were able to receive value and possibly some education, things that you didn't know as I didn't know as well. If you find value, please comment value. Um, if you were able to relate to anything, please relate as well. And if there is something, someone who contributed to Black history, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do the research and possibly be able to present that to you during the course of this month. Until I pop up again, I want to thank everybody and bye for now.